I am Stephen, and if you are here for the preview of the Wealth Plan, you are in the right place. This is for established financial advisors who are serious about their health and curious about what it means to have a wealth plan. So if you're here, I'm already applauding you. You're already winning because you think your health is important. So let's just jump right in, shall we? What we are doing is helping financial advisors develop and implement a financial plan for your greatest asset, your most valuable asset, your health. And we have lots of assets. Your health is one of the ones that a lot of people put on the back burner, and we're here to bring it to the front burner. There are three types of people that do this wealth plan. These are people who used to be healthy, maybe college or high school athletes, and they got away from that and they're coming back to themselves. And then the other group of people is ones who are like, well, never really put health on my radar at all. And I'm ready to develop that new identity for myself and make some changes. And then the third type of person is what I call the elite. They're the ones who are doing all of the things already. And they're just like, oh, I don't really know if I'm missing anything or if there's anything that I could do better to be able to optimize my health span, my longevity, and get the most out of my health. And so those are three really distinct paths. What's really cool with the wealth plan is that it addresses all three, and we get a customized plan moving forward. I have a poll for you. How you feel about your health today? Are you nervous, unsure, curious, happy, or excited about your health? Everyone's coming in a different place, right? And when people get successful is when they start to move to this curiosity phase, then we know that success is right around the corner. What is the most challenging thing about living out your healthy habits? Because of those three types of people that I just described, they each have unique challenges. Making it a priority and creating new habits. Building a new habit is like nursing a new plant that's coming out of the ground. But getting rid of an old habit that you don't want anymore is like trying to pull up a huge oak tree with all of its roots and infrastructure, and it takes time. If we don't take our health seriously, what is at stake, right? What is going to happen? I talked to an advisor, and within about 18 months of going into business with his dad, who was also an advisor, his dad had a heart attack and died. And it was devastating to him, to their business, to their family, and to their clients because they needed time to reorganize and restructure. There's another advisor that I talked to, and his dad was also retiring, but he only got one good year. And he was like, well, at least I got one good year. But the advisor is like, no, I don't want that for myself. I want more than one good year after I retire. And then I talked to another one out in California, 62 years old. He's like, I just can't run my business anymore. I don't have the energy, the stamina. I feel brain fog, and I have to sell the business. That's what's at stake here, right? If you don't take care of your health. And then the other side of this is for your clients. What's at stake if you don't help them take care of their health? An advisor told me this story that two of their clients, a husband and wife, came in, and for years they were just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to retire. Here's our retirement date. We have enough money. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to buy a new furniture set, and then we're going to travel around the world on this awesome cruise. And they were just planning and had all the money in all the right places. They just forgotten about this health component. And that part is where the story takes a turn for the worse. He retired. They went into the furniture store the very next day after retirement, and he died on the floor of the furniture store. So having a plan for your finances is important, but also having a plan for your health is really important because there's so much overlap. You help people have enough money to enjoy their todays and their tomorrows, and we do the same thing, but with your health. That's the main takeaway here is I am you, but I am just using a different asset. I am like a financial planner, but for your health. This is what we call the wealth plan. And it is just a financial plan for your other wealth, that wellness piece. So what we're doing, I'm not going to read this all to you, but we give you expertise. We personalize it for you. We give you clarity. So no more shiny object syndrome, no more wondering, should I do keto? Should I do this? What about all this crazy stuff? We just customize it and make it clear and really simple and provide guidance. In fact, I had one of my clients recently lay out a whole bunch of stuff that she was kind of dealing with her health. And then she said at the very end something very very meaningful to me. And she said, I'm just glad I had someone to tell this to. I'm just really glad I had someone to bounce this off of and hear me in this space. And that's a really valuable thing. That's what advisors do for their clients a lot of times. From a financial plan and a wealth plan, we follow the same principles. Long-term deposits, compounding, little behaviors that work toward a future that is going to provide the things that you want in your life and your retirement. When you create your wealth plan, it needs to be aligned with your goals, right? It also needs to be about data. We have to collect data. And then we look at liabilities and we figure out how your assets and liabilities work together from a health perspective, not money. We're talking health, assets, and liabilities. And then we make it compatible to your lifestyle. So are you traveling? Do you have kids' sports? Are you working from home? How realistic is it? How much do you like it? You know, all of those factors. I can't just give you a workout plan. I've been an exercise physiologist for 20 years. I worked for the NIH. I lived in Australia and launched kettlebell programs all over the country. I've done cardiac rehab, all kinds of things. I can't just give you a workout plan. It does not work. I can't just give you an eating plan and have it work. It has to be compatible with your lifestyle and working with the way that your brain thinks and factoring all of these things in together. So yes, it's a science, but it's also an art. And those two have to come together with wealth plan. So we start with point A. Where are you? This is your awareness. This is like, what are my numbers? What am I doing right now? Anytime I hear someone say try, I know that they're not doing it, right? So am I trying to do stuff or am I actually doing it? Where do I actually sit? And just lay it all out there for everyone to see. I've seen it all, I've heard it all. And people sometimes have guilt or they feel embarrassed or they feel weird about that. But it's like, that's the best way we can know how to go forward. So at first we collect a lot of data, and I'll show you some examples in just a minute. And then we go to point B. Where do you want to be? Do you want to wear those pants? Do you want to, go on this trip? Do you want to climb Pikes Peak? Like, what is it that's your point B? What are you looking for? Now, a lot of people have a point B that includes similar things like certain body compositions, certain blood work, maybe feeling good, but then everyone has their unique things that are really exciting for them of what they're trying to accomplish. We want to make sure it's sustainable because I have so many people who do not understand that you can't get rich quick with your health, right? They don't get that concept. You guys do. You guys get it. We have to figure out how to make health sustainable too. Not crash diets, not keto for 30 days, not Whole30 and then go back to what you were doing. That stuff doesn't work. I know because I've tried it, my clients have tried it, and I have so much data about why it doesn't work. What we have to do is make it sustainable. And we have to make it so like when you go to a conference or when you go to a wedding or you're sick or there's a death in the family or something like that blows up at work, that you have a set of actions and thoughts that are going to keep you where you want to be without going into debt with your health. Here's the framework that I use. I call it the hierarchy of wealth. It starts at the bottom and it moves its way up. Most people start when they want to get healthy with meals and movement. They go on a diet and they join the gym. And then they fail at that within a few weeks or months, and then they get frustrated and don't try again until it gets serious this time, and then they try it again, but it doesn't work. I used to live in this number 4. Like I thought exercise was the answer for everything. For 20 years, I have a master's degree in exercise physiology. It's not. Trust me, it is not. The people who are successful start here at the bottom with awareness and curiosity. They know their numbers, they know what they're doing, they have a plan, and then they start working on how their body recovers. If you're near 40 and beyond, your body needs to spend as much time in recovery as it does in doing any kind of healthy habits. So sometimes we have to dial people back on certain things to be able to get their body healing so that they can then start to build it back up again. Then we work on how to create a meal, what all these frameworks within the meal layer is, and then we go into movement. This is the structure that we work off of. And we do that with this framework. So in the first week, we do these first 2 things here, and then we go through those layers of the pyramid that I just showed you. But at the very end, in week 6, what we do is bring it all together. I call them high ROI routines, routines that have a high return on investment with a low cost or low resources. So that's what we do in the final week. And then after that 6th week, we have a private strategy session and we put it all together for you. So we're learning and going through the workbook and trying to understand how all this works. And then we create your wealth plan in that private strategy session and launch everything and start you on your path. This first 6 weeks where we go over this think and grow wealthy stuff, this part is not really where you are focused on seeing the results, inches or weight or whatever. What we're working on is putting together a solid plan and teaching you how, when in 5 years or your circumstances change as far as like taking care of parents or kids or whatever, that you can change with it and you can be your own wealth planner, right? So that's our structure. Here's a few testimonials. I'm not going to read all of these to you, but this one really stood out to me. Today, I realized that this is what I do for my clients. I help them figure out their financial data, what to do about it, how to align it with what really matters. And here I have that with you, with my health. This was her aha moment. And then this one here, I don't know why his picture is not showing up, but Rick, he says, this gives me a great roadmap to follow. And he actually just posted on LinkedIn about 30 minutes ago and was talking about this program. So go find him on LinkedIn and you can see what he's talking about. This is Matt, and he says, you don't have to skip out on life. He tells a story about his donuts with dad and how he didn't eat the donut. And he was so proud of himself. And I was like, Matt, eat the donut. Like, you're not going to live your life this way, are you? We need to create sustainable habits. And he's seen phenomenal results, but set me on track to a better health and helped me springboard back into an athlete again. And then Ross, you need the accountability, someone who's unemotionally tied to giving you insight and feedback regarding your health. How can you not do this? The cost is too high. So hear from them. This is what their experience is after going through the 6 weeks. The real ROI, though, is not in creating the plan, it's in doing it. With my kids, we have a saying that says, notice and do. So the plan is the notice part. The do is what you do next. And I'm not here necessarily to show you very much about this. I just want you to know it exists. And that next phase is the Wealth Club. That's the club where after people go through the 6 weeks, they can go on their own and DIY the plan themselves, or they can go into a group of financial advisors and FinPros who are already doing this. And that Wealth Club is a beautiful place of community, continued support, and a safety net that you're actually going to implement these things. So you're surrounded with the support that you need. It's helping you, like I said, become your own wealth manager. And it's interactive tracking your progress. This is so huge. Like, we watch all the data, as much data as people want to give me. I'm a data nerd. I love it. We can tell a story by the data. Some people don't do data, and we can do that too. But if you like numbers and you like tracking trends, we do that inside the Wealth Plan and the Wealth Club in a way that drives motivation, essentially. And continue coaching, obviously having someone to bounce these ideas off of and say, oh, let's tone that down and let's pick up a little bit of slack in this area. Matt, who I showed you earlier, he said when he got into the Wealth Plan, he didn't realize how powerful the community would be afterwards. He was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea this is going to be so fantastic. Oh, there's Rick's LinkedIn post. He's like, the best leaders of the world are leaders of themselves. I just loved that. And this is unsolicited. I did not ask him to put this out here. In my opinion, the best asset should be found in any portfolio is great health. Totally agree, Rick. This is the workbook that we work through. I'm just going to run through it quickly. You'll notice there's the path we're going to follow. Don't freak out, but that's our mind map of what we go through in the 6 weeks. And then we work through all of this stuff together through the workshop. Over here on this side, this is my website, and you log into the system here. So you just click log in, put your details in, and you get access. You get access to me up here in this chat anytime you want. You get your journals and you get your program right here. You get to see all of the different modules and things that we're doing together. And then you also have access to journal entries. These are the key metrics we're looking at, and I can see all of this and you can see all of this. So this is kind of behind the scenes of what the Wealth Plan actually is and how it works as a whole and what it delivers to the 3 different types of people that I talked about. We meet each week to learn this information, get your homework, and do the things that we need to do to prepare for that strategy session at the end. You leave with a wealth plan in your hand at the end of the 6 weeks. That is the Wealth Plan Preview. And I am the girl named Steven, and I look forward to seeing you in the wealth plan at some point in the future.